It's getting boring because I think it's like again it's about.
All right, ladies and gents, now then. So, excellent. Now, let's move on to the threes. Now, as I say, one of the first things about these first three cards are they are known as the supernal cards. Although I mean I should have bought shoelaces or something to demark this, but there is actually a gulf between the top three and the rest of the deck, known as the abyss. And it's this gap between anything that humans can understand, because yeah, basically, even with our greatest mystics, our most perfect shaman, rabbis, whatever. Oh, welcome back, our perfect rabbis, shaman, etc. We can't get as high as those three. That represents the iron, sort of the glass ceiling, really, of human effort. We're going to go after number three into spheres that, in theory, human spirituality can reach. But these top three, they are the closest to God. They are known as the supernals. So now, let's do number three. Binah. Now, Binah makes the triad. It's the second visible thing in the universe, coexisting almost simultaneously with number two. Because as I said earlier, the second you know that what you are, you know that others are not you. And even when sort of kids develop, there's a particular development in childhood where a child kind of realizes this difference. And it's one of the interesting things about human psychology as well. Now, Binah is described in kind of the literature of people like Crowley and the rabbinic literature as being a great dark ocean and a sort of dark womb. She's the first Sephira to have a planetary influence. In the Naples arrangement, Binah is the idea that sort of once the point comes to understand that there are other forms, it also has a whole host of other abstract concepts forming based upon these ideas of self or other. And it also forms the first real shape, the triangle. Now, in the tarot, these represent the progression of a suit having become a definite thing, but still not real yet. They're still a two-dimensional shape. You know, of knowing what you want, but not actually having it. So in the suit of cups, the three would be realizing that you love someone, but not actually knowing them properly. You know, that redhead in accounts, for example. You know, she's fantastic. Shakma is the root of all matter, force, and energy, but Binah gives that matter, force, and energy some kind of form. The Saturnian influence of Binah, this first astrological influence, means that the three can be very heavy upon occasion. Saturn is a planet of authority, age, and entropy. Its influence can be quite unpleasant. There is, this is where we get the Three of Swords, where the Saturnian influence causes this horrible flip in the air suit, and it goes really, really depressing. It's kind of, you know, it's North European poetry stuff out, and sort of films in black and white with heavy contrast on the beach, with someone dead, and all of that stuff. You know, it looks like an Ingmar Bergman film, basically. Now, sorry, I love Ingmar Bergman films, I should say, it's just, but they're not cheerful. Now, you know, this is where in the Thoth Tarot, unless I'm very mistaken, we have a card named Sorrow, and it represents this fully formed idea of sadness, a sudden idea that the sudden realization rather, that all ideas die in the act of being created. Creating a thing kills the idea of it. And so it's the act of the real world forces on the sort of the limits of a good idea. As a number, 3 is associated with fertility and creativity. One of the early names is the sort of given by the Pythagoreans is the rabbinic thinkers is the first perfection. This triad are the first perfection. Pythagoras called it the triad, and he believed it was the first shape able to support a solid thing. He felt that all things in life could be divided into 3. Personal problems, emotional deadlocks, everything. You have 3 things, you know, you have one side, you have the other, you have the solution. And that was just a fact for him. So, to the 3s.